All right. Who wants to share an update of a recent win or what you've been up to?
I will.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
hit 5,000 subscribers on Instagram.
Yes,
So I'm
awesome.
trying to decide if I want to do something like a little flash sale or something, but I'm like, what would I do? Like, I don't know, 50% off? Or, that seems kind of drastic, but maybe for a day that would be fun just to get. And would I do it off everything or I don't know.
Ooh,
I've
was
just
that
been
your?
it's been mowing around because I was approaching it, and then all of
Yeah,
a sudden this weekend it hit, and I
yeah.
was like, I don't know what to do.
When you thought of the 50% off, did that feel exciting to you?
Kind of. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of in the Oprah way of I love giving things away and giving people a really great deal, but then at the same time, I don't want other people to be like, wait, I could have gotten it for that. So,
Mm, yeah. I wouldn't worry about that. I don't think
okay,
people, well, in my experience, I've never had anyone think that. And
okay,
most people won't be paying that much close attention, I'd say. But if that's holding you back, I wouldn't worry about that. But it's,
okay.
yeah, if that feels exciting to you, then like,
Hmm.
why not? Like do a 24-hour, 50,000
Yeah,
followers, 5,000 followers, 50% off. Um, let's celebrate. Let's have some fun.
yeah.
Mm.
I think I will.
Ooh, fun.
So,
How are you
yeah.
going to share it?
Well, that's a good question. I'll send out an email and stories. I don't know that maybe I'll do a post, but probably just in my stories and email.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
How many emails?
how many people on my email list or how many emails would I send out?
Yes.
Um, two or three. I did get, with this last launch, because these were people who had just joined my list, I did notice that not a huge number, but there were quite a few unsubscribes very quickly. And
Mm-hmm.
I had one contact me who said the unsubscribe button wasn't working for her. And and so she asked me to just do it manually. And I said, do you mind if I ask why you wanted to unsubscribe? She goes, this is just too many emails. I
Mm.
was like, oh, I'm sorry you joined in the middle of a launch. I do send out quite a few. It's not always that bad, but she wanted unsubscribed. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's
anyway,
okay. There'll always be people like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Did in your launch emails, do you have an option for them to just unsubscribe out of the launch?
I don't, but I probably could. I'd have to figure out how to do that. There probably is.
Yeah, it's worth doing because it can be, I don't know if the Quick 360, but it can be quite simple in that MailChimp, I don't know, it may have changed since I set it up, but at the time they didn't have that direct capability. So in the bottom of my launch emails, you'll just see a PS. If you don't want to hear about, the society or whatever it is I'm launching, click here and you'll no longer get any emails about this, but you'll still get blah, 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 all the
Mm,
standard
that's
emails.
a good idea.
And then I just link that click here part to a survey where they put in their email. So it's quite manual, but it's easy for them. It's just a survey pops up. It's one box. They put their email in. It just has a message again saying you'll no longer get emails about this, but you'll still get that. And then it comes through as a response and you can just tag them.
Okay.
So it could be
I
quite
think,
simple.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I could figure something like that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worthwhile. Just because launches do have a lot of emails and
Hmm.
some people are right there for it. They're waiting, and they're watching every
Right.
single email that comes through until like maybe 2 years down the track. And then they're like, okay, 80 emails, I'm ready. But yeah, you'll get some that just, they don't want that money. So,
Hmm.
oh,
I was
that's fun.
thinking about something like that the other day
Mm.
with talking about emails. I've bought, and I was talking about it in stories, I've bought some new lipsticks and I have followed,
Hmm.
I didn't realize how long I had followed this lady called Beauty in the Boutique. And I went and saved something on Facebook the other day and the icon was her. And I've been following her. It must be about 12 years that I
Yeah.
have been following her. And I've looked at different bits and pieces over the years, and for whatever reason, I'm like, no, I'll just buy my makeup here. And now I literally got to the point of, no, I can't find what I'm looking for. I'll go to her site, and I have added to cart about so many times over the last 2 months. And then late one night, I was like, stuff it. I'm just going to do it. So I did.
Yeah.
But that just shows proof. And I hadn't actually watched her videos or taken note of her emails, I don't know how many years, but I still was subscribed to it. But I still knew that she was there to go and have a look.
Mm-hmm.
And it had what I needed. Do you get what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things that, you know, you can have people that are dormant like me forever.
Mm.
And yet suddenly, for whatever reason, the time is right and they take that jump. And like, I bought 3 things. I didn't just buy the one to test it out. I'm like, no, if it's coming from the UK, she's got 20% off 3 things. I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's really interesting.
Yeah. If she hadn't been showing up, if she'd stopped sending those emails or whatever, you know, she would have just dropped out of your consciousness. But the fact that she's still kind of there and you're in your awareness.
Yep. And I'd see it. I wouldn't open it, but I'd see it and go, oh, yeah. Like, it just, I'm one of those people, I give out my email address to everyone. Like, I don't care about that kind of thing.
And then I often unsubscribe very quickly, depending on what it was.
Yes, I think I probably do need to unsubscribe to a whole load of things, but yeah, so just, I don't know, it goes to show. And like you, Jenny, I had a whole load of unsubscribes as well. I think that's just totally normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah, it wasn't excessive, but I thought, you know, I hope they weren't all like her going, good grief, this lady, you know, because at the height of the launch, which is only about 2 or 3 days, they're getting 3 emails a day from me.
Yeah. I don't think, like, most people won't notice every single email that comes in, you know. So even if it's 3 emails a day, they might notice one that day and one the day before or whatever. But it's unlikely that they're paying that much close attention to their own inbox, if they're anything like me, anyway. But
like this many a day. I have to go searching for the ones that I actually know are in there somewhere.
Yeah. Thank goodness for the search function. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that's there for. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely a numbers game. It's a numbers game in terms of how many emails you send out to be able to get people to pay attention. And it's a numbers game in terms of you will get people dropping off, but it's about making sure that you're putting enough out there to get those right people onto your list. So yeah, you're doing the right things. 5,000 followers on Instagram is fantastic.
Yeah, I was excited. That just, it kind of feels, you know, there's these, when you're starting out anyway, you look at these accounts, you're like, oh, if I ever got there, that would be it, you know. And on Instagram, I kind of felt like 5,000 would be really nice. I would at least feel a little more
legit.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
It's funny how we set these like numbers, like we just pick them out and then that is it. But you did it. You got there.
I did.
Know? Yeah, and do you remember you were saying like you've never had a new follower from a reel, and like all these people are on Facebook, and look at that, you know?
Yeah, and it was the magnets. Something about that got some things going, and then I think Instagram has taken notice because I'm steadily getting, you know, between 5 and 15 new a day for the last couple of weeks. So.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing.
It feels really good.
I need your secrets, Jenny. That's amazing.
It was that one reel, and it's like, you know, all those years that I've been doing this, I've been thinking, how do you get that one reel that takes off? And it, you know, it's like Ames with her dart one. People just, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. Like I reshared my most popular one this week just because it was an easy thing to do. And it needed to be just updated a little bit. The first one went gangbusters, and I had like 21,000 views. This one, no, it just didn't do anything.
Exact same reel.
It did not change a thing. So I was like, that's really interesting. Does it know that I've put the same thing? I don't know. But instead, I was kind of like, oh well, it didn't work. That's fine. Like,
good.
Try something else.
Yeah.
I just find it's more that I find it fascinating of like, well, what what does it actually want? And then part of me is like, oh, I don't really care. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. But I know that, like you though, I actually go into, when I do get followers and I haven't been shared, like Canna is just the most amazing lady and shares me all the time without, it's not a collaboration. She just does it, which is awesome. But when I see other people come in and it says from a reel, I now click on that to see which reel they've come in from. And it's really random. It's a whole different bunch. So sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm just showing up sometimes in the, you know, when people are scrolling through. And that's how they find me. I don't know.
Yeah. I haven't been able to figure it out either. I have had a few reels since that I have had a few that said so-and-so followed you from this reel. I did one on your sewing machine tension. I did a 2-part one, and that one seems to have gotten some traction. And then this week, I literally, an old reel from a year ago popped up on my Facebook memories. I re-downloaded it to my phone and reposted it with a new caption, but the exact same video. And it's done pretty well too. It's using the dental floss to gather. That one's gone really well. And getting lots of engagement. That's been my big thing, is like nothing I've posted ever got engagement. And I'm finally, so I am like trying to reply to everything to make the algorithm.
See. And it's really interesting and fascinating. I was saying to Ames the other day about what people engage with. Like I put up the outfit the other day of me in, like, I was literally pastel. I was like a gelato from head to toe. And I put that up, and it was on the fly, here's what I'm wearing today, light summer outfit in winter. I can't tell you how many likes I got on that, but also it was DMs. Like they just kept coming in. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes you just can't quite pick it.
Yeah. I think it comes back to that whole numbers game. You just got to keep showing up, but it's not just that. It's not just showing up and creating content. It's combined with, like when you said, Jenny, all those years of showing up and like feel like nothing's happening and like, what do I need to do? But during those years of creating that content and listening, and this year particularly, I feel like you've gone much deeper into your messaging. So rather than thinking about what does it want in terms of the algorithm, it's more about what does she want, what does your customer want, and then combining that with that regularity of showing up. I feel like those pieces came together for you.
So, oh, yeah.
Like when I log in the morning, Jenny, you're the first circle at the top.
Yours and Liz's are the two usually that pop up first.
Yeah, you're like when I wake up, because I think it's with the time difference and everything. There's a couple of other like American bloggers that I follow. Ames might be in there as well, but you're consistently, that's something that I've been struggling with. So I need to figure that out a bit more. But you're consistently always there. Like I know, and it's quite funny now. If for whatever reason you're not there, it's like, oh, where's Jenny today? Do you know what I mean? You actually, as a follower, you get used to, oh, well, what are they doing today? Because they it's funny. So you've been showing up a lot.
I've been trying to, well, not trying to, but I've been resharing stuff a lot. I love Liz's because they're so pertinent to my people. You know?
I see though. Both of you,
But any other, so, I'll put their thing up and be like, here's a great idea, just to keep my stories going when I have absolutely nothing else to post that day.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it works well. And that reel that I had, it lasted ages and ages. That went, I reckon it was probably 3 months. I was still getting followers and likes and sign-ups to my email from it. It went for ages. So once they go, they hang around a long time, which is great.
Once they get traction.
Yeah, they can go beyond that 24 or 48 hours that everyone, often talks about with socials. When you've got one that people pick up, 3 months is a lot more return on investment for a reel.
I had one the other day from it, a follower from it, and it's like, it was a Christmas reel. What are we? Like June. So it's random.
Fantastic.
Take it. I mean, yeah.
Do you think Instagram's getting better also with keywords and search. You know how before it was always hashtag based, whereas now I think that's also playing
maybe
a better role in some of this. Like if people are actually actively looking for something a bit more.
Yeah.
that could be.
Yeah. I think they're just also getting better at scraping our content. Oh, go ahead.
Seems to come topic things now in the top.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of says whatever, you know, you go to the thing and it says at the top whatever the main comment of the thing, like felt crafts or something, like just in the, I don't know if it's an AI thing or what. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder where it's getting that from.
And people are able to customize their feeds, which I think probably tells Instagram even more about what they want. You know, I think that's probably helping. There's some feature now. I follow, what is his name, Mosseri, the CEO of Instagram. And he was talking about a feature where you can actually go in and invite a group of friends to follow a specific feed. But I think they would probably have to click over to that feed to see what was going on there. But you could put, you know, some of your sewing friends on it or some of your color analysis friends, I guess. I don't know. It sounded intriguing, but also I just don't have the time to learn something else right now.
Like, you know, those broadcast channels? So I get that a lot. You've been invited to, and then sometimes I click on it and I can't even find the person that actually it said that it invited me. And then I'm just like, oh, this is just, I know, like, I'm happy with my feed. Reels I occasionally go into. I have to be pretty bored to actually click on that. Because I visually flicking through videos all the time, I can't quite do it.
My feed is pretty much like that anyway.
Yeah, so my feed's not too bad. I've got quite a bit of static. That's why I've never gotten on with TikTok because it's just so much moving things and like stories. But yeah, I just keep it to the initial stuff. I'm good with that.
Yeah, so it really depends. Like people have different preferences on what they want to consume, right? And I think what you said before, Ash, is really important actually about how when you wake up in the morning, you expect to see Jenny there. And if she's not, you're like, what? It's like, it's that you're training us, Jenny, like every day when you get in your stories and you're like, happy Monday. This is what I've been up to. This is what I'm doing. Like you're literally training your audience with what to expect from you and also how to engage. And that's so important. You become a part of their daily habits.
I have not been able to get a lot of engagement in stories. You know, using like the question boxes and stuff, I don't get a lot.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get more, like maybe 3 or 4 in Facebook when I put that. But if they answer it in Facebook, I can't share it to Instagram, and it's a whole thing. But I'm trying to manage both of them and see.
Yeah. Just grab a screenshot and then you can just pop it up as a story.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Yeah,
it's more manual, but it's possible if you want to. But yeah, I think if you do share the ones that you're getting, and even if you supplement with your own, like put your own answers in there, and then people see, oh, okay, other people are applying, you know, it's okay to do, and then, you know, again, training them to do that.
Can you answer the questions yourself, or
Yep.
how do you do that? Just
so you can copy and paste them from Facebook into so that you're answering your own, but even if they've come from somebody else.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Copy and paste off of Facebook and what?
Into the Instagram ones, and then you can just share them, even if you're.
Yeah.
I have another account, or sometimes I've used my daughter's account, and I've then gone in that way. And if I thought it was going to be crickets or there was a specific question I wanted to answer, that's how I do it that way sometimes.
Okay. I have never done that because I was afraid the algorithm might go, oh, she's stuffing her own thought. But it does come up on my personal Instagram.
Yeah, no, I've never had an issue doing anything. Okay. Well, not that I'm aware of doing anything like that.
Okay.
I always supplement those answers in those things because like there's a reason that I'm asking. Because I want to direct the messaging in a certain way. So I just go to view my story and just literally pop in my answer there, and it just comes up the same way. Like I did it the other day. I think, what was I asking about?
Fabric?
Yes. To Tokyo or something. Didn't you have some?
Yeah, it was in the lead up to that, so I wanted to massage some messaging that I could sharing my answers. So
I was going to answer all your, because I would so love to do what you've been posting about, even though with my allergies and stuff, we know Sesame and me, I can't come. And I was going to go through and do it. And then I was like, oh no, I don't want to skew her results if she's actually got real people that are answering that she then wants to DM. So I was like, I'd choose that one.
I did it. And I've got to sell some more courses if I want to come.
You still
I was like, oh, that looks so much fun.
Feel free to
That's
answer.
the thing. Things like that get people engaged, and then that's how I find those polls. They're the best engagement I get, Jenny,
because it's
when
so
I get
easy.
stuff like that, and because it's so easy. And I create a generic response generally for both of the answers of whatever they give. Not on everything. Like if I'm playing warm or cool, I do it maybe at the end. But if I'm being very specific about something, and I would say 90% of the time people don't necessarily answer the DM, but I have definitely had sales out of the 10% that do. And then
tell me what you do. I don't understand.
Oh, sorry. So say I put up a poll and I say, are you interested in knowing if you're wearing the wrong colors or something like that? And then the answer is yes, I would really love to know. Or I don't ever say no. I say, I'm not sure if this is for me. So then it's leaving that door open of how I can word my message. So then what I do, when you go into your stories in the back end, you can see everybody who's voted.
Right, I did know that.
And then there's a little thing to the right-hand side, and it's send message. And so you can go in and you can answer them that way, and you can send a message. And I do like a tailored response for each one, and I cut and paste it in depending. And then that starts the conversation with them of, oh, if you'd love to learn your colors, this is why it's so great, blah, blah, blah. I totally understand if you're not sure about it, but I promise you it's a game changer, that kind of thing. I find that
I have never replied. I've never paid attention to that button. I've just always looked to see who.
Yeah, that funnel has been a game changer for me. And I don't use it all the time because I don't want to sort of overuse it and then people are getting all these messages and stuff, but I use it a lot.
Yeah.
And I find,
with sharing your freebie as well, like just putting it up and saying, do you want to do this? And when everyone that answers yes, I send them
Yeah.
So it just starts that conversation in a really natural
I can totally
way.
see it. I just never.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's why we're here to share what works. And that's how simple a funnel can be. It can be a series of stories. You can have them saved on your phone that you can share every couple of months if you want. And then it's a series of stories. They vote on the poll. You have a set message to send them. Start the conversation. Done. Sales. Love it.
Yeah, it works really well.
Liz, what were you saying with your freebie? How do you use it for the freebie?
Yeah, similar to what Ash was saying, like do a poll, say, want to make a crown with me or something like that, or did you know you can make a crown like this with my template? And then everyone that says yes, then I just send them the link to the sign up page.
Yeah, I love it. So it's still a funnel. It's just about whether you're going to sales or to list building.
Okay. I'm looking at mine because I know I put up something today too.
All right. Ashley, you had a win you wanted to share. Tell us.
Yeah, it was more about, I feel really good that I've sort of gotten back on the bandwagon. So for everyone else, the last 3 weeks, it's been pretty stressful in our house. For want of a better way of describing it, I guess my daughter's been bullied at school and on and off, and we made the very big decision for her to leave. So she's now she's enrolled in TAFE and I've got her all sorted, but I really had to go into full mum mode very unexpectedly and take care of that. Which I'm very grateful for. Like, that's one thing I've also realized is a win out of all of this is the reason I have this business is so that when things happen, which they seem to happen quite a bit in our family, but when things happen, I can, my husband didn't have the time. I was updating him and I let him know what was going on, but I'm the one who spent the hours on the phone with Tay figuring out all the different options and the emails to school and stuff. So I'm really, really grateful, but I'm also really grateful that this week, like AIM said to me, give yourself the grace to do that and be that. And I kept that with me. But since coming back this week, I've recorded 3 podcast episodes. I'm fully up to date on all of my color consults. They're done and out the door. I'm actually ahead on some because she was just so easy. It's so nice when you get one that is just so clear cut. So I'm up to date on all of that. I delivered everything to my like a 96 jumpers knits roundup within my membership. So that normally takes me quite a bit of work. So I delivered that. And then I went in and answered all of their questions. So I literally am completely up to date on work that has to be delivered and is visible. And now I've started again on the website, which is what I was literally working on the day that it all sort of fell apart. So I feel like I've got myself back to where I was in quite a short space of time, which is really good. And there's also something I've learned that because Ella's here, like all the time, and she's going to be volunteering at a preschool, but like my days and weeks have changed because I'm going to have a child in the house or a late teen in the house all the time. Because I have a narrower window of time, I'm smashing through work faster almost is what I've noticed. And I'm like, that's really quite interesting. Yeah. So with time management, and I'm actually getting her to do stuff. Like she was amazing this week. She's done all of my highlights. So if you go and have a look at my Instagram now, like all of my highlights are pretty, and she's put everything in for me. So they're my wins, that whilst sometimes you've got to drop off the face of the earth, I'm catching up much faster than what I would have, I think, before.
She's back and she's on fire.
Yeah, and I was thinking I'd like those. I thought about, I'm doing like a little mini mid-year style checking kind of campaign with my new package that I'm about to release. And last night I was like, no, to hit that Q2 goal in my head, I was like, it has to be done by Monday. And then I was like, why? Mid-year reset is literally, we're in it. Like it doesn't stop just because it's Monday, the 30th of June. And I'm like, give yourself the grace to extend it out. Get on top of everything you need to, and then you can start running into that. And so that was when I was like, okay, you don't need to panic that you haven't posted about that particular thing. So I feel like, whereas before I would have gone down a rabbit hole and really beaten myself up, probably psychologically, that I hadn't done what I'd missed. No, the last 3 weeks, I've been a really good mum and I've shown up and I've done what I needed to do. But then on the flip side, I don't think even if my members noticed it a little bit, no one said anything, but then I've come back with a vengeance and done everything they needed me to do as well. So, and clients. So, yeah. So,
yeah. Is this the daughter that was taking sewing classes?
Yeah. So the really sad thing is she was top of textiles. Her teacher is, when we met with the headmaster on Friday afternoon, he said that he spoke to the textiles teacher because she's literally lost her top student. And so she's really, really upset. But Ella is going to continue to make her major work. She wanted to do, it's a mix between like a Cinderella ball gown and a Princess Diana dress is what she'd designed. And she's actually already drawn it at school. So we've got the drawing. We just don't know then where to take it. So that's where I've said to her, well, we'll come into the society, and the knowledge and everything in there is really going to be able to help you. We can still do this dress, but there won't be the pressure of being marked on it. So that was the hardest part, was to let go of textiles. It's funny what you learn of letting go of the things that you associate with finishing school, what it actually came down to. And then at the end of the day, even as the headmaster said, if you're unhappy, that's it. Like, you're not going to do your best work when you're unhappy.
And my daughter did not tell me she had been bullied in school until she was an adult, and I felt horrible. So be glad you've been able to.
You know what? There's you wouldn't have heard of it, I don't think, Jenny. I think most of us would have. There's a thing here called Dolly's Law. I'm not sure if anyone's aware of it. It was the 12-year-old in Queensland. And she was bullied. I'm pretty sure they lived in regional, and she was bullied so badly that she took her own life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my best friend, actually, who she's more like an aunt to my kids. And she said, Ash, no matter how you're feeling about all of this, she said, she told you.
Mm.
You got the text message from school saying, I need someone here now. She said she told you, she didn't hide it. And so, yeah, there's a lot to be grateful for in all of this. And she's going to be an amazing preschool teacher. And her headmaster just said how wonderful it would be to have her on the teaching staff to come back, because she was worried it might affect that. And so, no. So just a different path. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just a different path. But and she loves fashion. So having her work for me a couple of days a week will be awesome.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So my word of the year was soar, and I don't quite know that I've done that yet. But part of me is like, well, maybe I just was on the runway for the first 6 months, and the second half is when it will. But that's where I need to learn or take on what you do, Jenny, and it's that consistent showing up. And I've put in new minimums of what that will be, so that I consistently, no matter what's going on, 3 times a week, show up, so that I don't just literally fall off the face of the earth with socials, because it does. That's one thing the algorithm doesn't like, that stop-start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was telling Ames, I've been getting tons, and now I've got tons on Facebook. Now I got 1 or 2 notifications on Instagram that you're a top creator, keep going, or you've
awesome.
got an engagement badge for this week. It'll last for 7 days. Here's how you can keep it going, or whatever. Which is why I've been kind of breaking my back trying to reply. I got to the point on a couple reels on Facebook where if they just said, oh, that's cool, I just had to click like. But if they elaborated on anything, then I tried to reply.
Yeah, I try to reply to most things, even if it's a few days later, like that glasses one, something happened. And so I just wasn't really on Instagram, so I had to go back. But I did, and I went back and I replied to everybody. And yeah, it's just, for me, I think I'm also learning, even if it's just an outfit post for that day, or it's something. So even if it's not 100% what I would want it to be, as long as it's something, that's better than nothing.
Yeah. It's like you said before, you're when you've got that, when you're squeezed into a shorter time frame, you can still get done what you need to do, but you're probably just wasting, to be honest, less time than you would have worrying about details that probably don't have an impact in the end anyway. So you're letting all of that go because you have to.
Yeah, absolutely. And funnily enough, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. I've always been better under pressure. Like, that was my job when I worked in an ad agency, account management. I had deadlines all day long, every single day, that I had to stick to. And so I'd get it done because you had to. Whereas when it's just me, and I know I've talked about that before with accountability, that, probably just been wasting a lot of time.
Which feels horrible to say, but it's the reality for all of us. We will fill the time that we are given and that we give ourselves. So But yeah, I do want to say that you have 100% been working on your entrepreneurial muscles in this 6 months. Like, you have been doing the reps. I know you feel like you've been dropping in and out, but you have. And so that is why you can bounce back quicker, because like these things will happen for all of us, these bumps in the road, but we can't ignore it. These things happen, but it's about how quickly you can recover from them. And, you can see how quick that can happen.
Yeah.
So it's good. Yeah.
And you were talking about the runway. I was thinking you have to flap your wings to soar too, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it just feels like you're flapping and flapping, but it's necessary.
I'm going to think about that now. Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to jump off a cliff.
Yeah. And you know what? I think I have visual reminders of that without even realizing, Jenny, because I love following pages that have ducks and chickens and stuff. So I literally see that every time I log in. So there you go.
I love it. The other thing that I wanted to pick up on was that you said that in the past you would have panicked about this, June 30th approaching on Monday. And that panic energy for all of us yes, you want to give yourself those deadlines to work within, but if you're turning into that panic energy or like that neediness or that desperation, it just is going to be counterproductive anyway. So you've definitely made the right choice there.
Yeah, and I think even before, there's a couple of times where I would have maybe asked a question, put it in the group, and now I've actually managed to be like, no, you know the answer to that. You don't need to ask if it's okay to not worry about the 30th of June. You already know that because you just do.
Yeah.
Like that was last night of like, it's fine, park it. If you need to decompress at night by watching TV instead of working, that's okay too, because there's been a huge amount of stress going on and it's got to be released somewhere. So, I think you're right. I think if I look at where I was 6 months ago, 9 months ago, and I know that the rewards will come. That I'm certain of that. So yeah.
I'm not sure if Liz can chat now or not, but maybe. No. Yeah.
There she is.
Have you got any updates, Liz?
Just what I shared in the group about that lady.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, that was so good.
Yeah.
So it's I know her from markets a long time ago. We used to have stalls next to each other. She makes really fun kids' clothes. So yeah, she said she'll do it as an affiliate to get the 50% off. So it works out well for everyone because no, I don't have to set anything up. I just have to make some flyers and stuff to send her.
That's great.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, if you can get more of those, then it's literally that passive income that you're looking for.
Yeah, so then, obviously it's not as good as wholesale because you don't get the money up front. Like, so you have to make sure they're people that are actually incentivized to sell it. Otherwise, they don't make any money and you don't make any money.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it fits because I think her customers are probably more, they obviously buy ready-made stuff off her. They're not like crafty people, but because my products are not necessarily for like advanced sewers, I think it still fits. And her brand is super fun. And we did some photo shoots together years ago with her clothes and my ears and stuff. So I think it still fits.
That's great. So yeah, just with your messaging, you're just going to have to make sure that that's front and center, that it's super beginner friendly, like even if you've never sewn a stitch before or something like that, when you create.
Yeah. And because she makes all her own stuff, like she sews all her clothes that are in the store. So she's quite passionate about sewing and creating and stuff as well. That comes across like she's a very enthusiastic person. So, and yeah, she was really keen. So I'm hoping that her enthusiasm, holds out with that as well.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
So good. So what's the plan? Are you hoping to set up some more affiliates?
Yeah, I'd like to. I just wanted to get this one sorted out first to make sure it was working. So I'll do some flyers and stuff for her and set up the codes and make sure I'll do a test one and stuff to make sure it all goes through because it's quite nice to do it with someone that I vaguely know as opposed to someone I don't.
Yeah.
And then if we've got that working, then we could do it again with some other people. I've still got the other felt stores to reach out to. And actually, I did send an email to somebody else last night. That was when I was looking for her email address. I came through the other, in my stockist folder of my email that, I haven't looked at for ages. But somebody sent me an email last year about stocking my crowns. And they're like, I suppose they do like education and like early learning kind of stuff. They're just online and lots of courses like physios and OTs and that sort of people teaching parents about early childhood and, the importance of play and all that stuff. So I sent them an email as well last night, just following up from the one they sent me like a year ago, saying that I've changed direction. So yeah, we just need to get I'll get a few more once I've got this one sorted out.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. That early childhood educational piece, it's all hands-on. Like, so that's another like avenue that you could look into other partners as well.
Yeah.
Leslie, it looks like you're sorted there. What's happening with you? Have you got any wins or updates to share?
I've got a win that I can actually run the half marathon, because I've been in a lot of pain with my legs, and so I haven't done any long runs for 3 weeks. But I had an MRI on Monday, and I got the results, and I saw the podiatrist yesterday. So I said to him, look, I've come to terms with the fact that I'm not going to be running the full marathon. I said, I've made peace with that. And I said, so I'm going to lower down my race to either 10K or 21K. And he said, well, the 10K would be quite easy. And I said, yeah, I know it would be. And he said, well, why don't you give the 21K a go? I mean, I've done 3 before, so I know how to pace myself. I know how to fuel. I'm okay with that. And he said, the aim is just to complete it. And I went, okay. He said, maybe you'll get a sub 3, which is running in less than 3 hours. And I said, I know I can walk it if I really can't manage the pain in my shin. So that was good. And it was good to hear that I don't have a what's it called? A fracture in my shin bone. So there is, you can see white in the MRI, but he said, that's okay. That's where your pain is, and it's not a fracture. So that's good. He said a person's bone who doesn't have any pain will be all grey. He said, but you've got a little patch of white in both shins, but that's expected because, you've been running and you've had this injury for a little while. So that's some really good news. So that's exciting to be able to still be able to run.
Yeah.
So I know it'll be a slow run. It won't be fast at all.
It'll be just at the pace you need. Same with business. As long as it's going in the right direction, that's the thing that matters.
Yeah. So while I was away, thank you for your messages. While I was away, I still worked on different things, and I listened to stuff as well. I just feel with these shin splints, I'm holding a lot of emotions in my legs, so I really need to let go of that. So I'm looking into having some EMDR treatment. I don't know if you're aware of that. So yes, I'm just trying to find a therapist around me so I can get that done and start that process.
Good. Yeah.
So, yeah. That's I think there's a lot of emotion being held in my body. That's I don't know. I feel stuck, and I'm just not moving forward at the pace I would like to go.
I think that's probably a very common feeling for a lot of us, that we want to be much further ahead than we are. That's because you're all driven and you've all got a vision that that you're holding for your business and for your life. So I don't think you're alone there at all, Leslie. But I love that you're taking action in terms of getting that treated, because you are 100% your business's first priority, because you are the bottleneck, but you're also the thing that will make it soar, like us actually is after. So you're the first priority. So definitely make that number one. But in the meantime, because today's theme is action and accountability, you can still, in tandem, choose something that will get you moving forward. It might feel initially like you're moving through mud, but just taking those small steps to build that momentum to get you out of that feeling of being stuck, just some kind of pattern disrupting behavior is going to be really important as well to do both.
So I made a list of things, and I just need to go back and start taking action and finishing off things that I said I want to do as well. So I feel like I've got lots of balls in the air, but I just need to make the steps of each task or each activity and what I need to do, and just start ticking them off. And I know I can do it, and I've done it before.
You absolutely can. So what is going to be the thing that you choose today? Like, what will have the biggest flow-on effect? What will be the easiest thing you can do, or what will be the thing that's going to have the biggest impact?
Okay, so I know I've said in the past that I have 3 items to sell, and I have written the captions. I just haven't shared them in this group. So that's one of the things I want to do. And I did get help with ChatGPT to help write stuff as well. I don't love it. I don't know. I do love it, but I feel uncomfortable about it because it's I guess shining a light on what I do, and I just think how do I say it? I'm shining some light up my ass, and, and I'm not comfortable with that. You can understand what I'm saying.
Sounds uncomfortable, yeah.
So it's something that I just take for granted, you know. I need to now share it and say why, and that's what I think. That's what I'm feeling uncomfortable about.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing, but it feels icky. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
It's something you haven't done before, so you're stepping out of that comfort zone. So I know exactly the feeling that you've got, but once you take that action and stop sitting on it, it's going to feel so freeing. And it would be so much easier to do again after that. So you just need to take that first scary step of doing it. So you're going to share the content and the captions in this group, and then
and then I can just put it on social media.
Yes.
And then you know, it's not hard. I could just those are the steps. And I've got the photos, and I don't know, I'm just second guessing all of the stuff I'm doing. And then like I am in the SMS, so I went and looked at something that was done in May, and I thought, well, I can actually do that. It was a signature series, and I thought, well, I can do that. I've done the photos on how I made the garments. I can do that. So I thought that would be something fun to work on.
Yes, good.
I won't complete it today, but I want to start that, like start drafting out the ideas, and that's something that I think I can share here as well.
Why couldn't you complete it today?
I don't know. I just had a quick glance at it during the week, and I just went, oh my God, this looks like too much. So I don't know. I'll see how I go, but that's something I've been thinking about as well. I think that would help guide me to knowing how and what to post.
Yeah. Like you said, it's not hard, and it's not hard. It's very simple, but it's also not easy getting out of your own way to share these things. So just keep it simple and just take a deep breath and do it. Share it in the group, and then commit to sharing those things later today publicly. And get working on that signature series. I think that's a good way to spend your time.
Okay, thanks.
How about you, Liz? What are you going to focus your time on today?
I need to do the flyers for the lady. I was playing around with them this morning. I'll post it in the group in a minute and see. I just did a rough draft.
Yeah, great.
Not really what to put on there. I've just got the picture, like the listing photo, the picture, like make your own, and then that's a pattern, and then the QR code. Which will have the link to her affiliate link to the product to buy it, so she gets the commission.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and then what happens after the flyer? What's your next priority?
I'm doing a cat tail and ear set, which I've done the pattern pieces. I just need to make it and take the photos today, hopefully, if I can get through all that. And I was doing a crown with my free pattern for 4th of July in like American red, white and blue colors as well. So I should be able to take all those, hoping to be able to take all those photos today while the sun is sort of vaguely out.
Yeah.
I saw it shining on you earlier.
Yeah.
It's deceiving, but it's nice at the moment. You're behind the glass.
So what's the plan with the 4th of July? Is that a promo for your freebie?
I've just been using my crown template and doing random other things. Like I did the dinosaur, like just with dinosaur print fabric, and I did, what else did I do? Can't remember. I've just done a few other different versions of it. And then I just thought I'd do a red, white, because I've got some blue fabric with white stars on it, and I just do it on a red piece of felt and just do the whole, you can make a crown for 4th of July with my free template, just as a different way of using it, I guess.
Great. And how's the sorry, go ahead, Jenny.
And I can post that too, since I have a lot of American followers. I mean, you may too, but yeah.
I've got a few, yeah. Most of my sales seem to come from the States, so.
Great. Yeah. That's the beauty of the digital product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How's the email sequence going?
I finished the welcome one and made it live last week with the tweaks that you had sent me ages ago. I haven't updated the crown. It's still the same. I wanted to add a couple more on the end, which I haven't done, and I really want to do the post-purchase flow one as well, because I haven't got that. The other ones I've got, but they're not great, but that's the one I haven't got at all. So that's still on the list to do. I just wanted to try and get some more patterns done before, because we go away on the 11th of July. And then it's pretty much book week when we get back. So I wanted to have at least the cat one done, and maybe the lion and the giraffe set, which is just reorganizing the ones I've already got.
Great. And have you are you batching content for that time you're away?
That's the plan, but we'll see how organized I am. So, and I haven't organized with it. I wanted to do a promo with someone, but I haven't organized it, so I haven't.
Yeah. That's okay. If you don't get time, you don't want to feel stressed in the lead up to going away. I think you're right. Your priority is getting the patterns done, and then if you can, batching some content so you can share it or even schedule it to go when you're traveling. But just keep in mind that you want it to be highly shareable content. So even if you don't have a collab for Book Week, you could probably send it to the people that you've got relationships with in the lead up, So even if it's not a collab, it's still pointing towards Book Week.
Yeah. Just making it easy for people. You mean tips and stuff when I've got that blog post.
Yeah. Just thinking about if you're wanting messaging that your patterns are perfectly aligned for getting prepared for Book Week, what that content would look like if you were to then send your reel to, for example, your friend the new affiliate. If you were to send your reel to her to say, if you want to share this in your stories, to share with your audience, it might be something they're interested in Book Week. What would it look like for them to want to be able to share it?
So the ones I've always done before that have probably got the most interest is when they were selling the physical products is take these ears, go with this book, or you've got this book, then you can add these, doing the matching up with the book and the product.
Yeah.
Because people it's a bit overwhelming and they're last minute, what do I do?
Yeah. Do you think you can easily do that?
I've probably got content from years ago that I can just kind of rehash a bit to be that, because it's still the same. The ears have been good because I have so much previous content from when I used to make them.
Perfect. Definitely do that. Make it easy.
Yeah. Easy so I can just add the sewing bit at the start and then the finish bit with the book and the picture of the book and the product. I don't have many kids' books anymore. I might have to go to the library.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But yeah, just have a juicy hook. Think about your customer and your industry partners, customers. What are they thinking? And it's like you said, feeling overwhelmed at the idea of Book Week. We make it easy for you. Or here's an easy solution. Here's an easy option for Book Week. All those hooks that are going to get the people going, yes. So
Yeah.
that's what I want to pop in front of that old content to rehash it.
Okay.
Lovely. All right. Ash, what are you focusing on today?
I've got quite a list. I probably won't get through all of this necessarily, but so in priority order, I want to finish the website, which I was working on that last night. It's just the little tweaks. And even if I change the messaging a little bit afterwards, I still want that new package up so I can move from the old one.
Yes.
Because the podcast episode went out this week that references that. So I kind of feel that it needs to actually be up. So that's number one. Then number two is I want the next month of socials planned even up to 6 weeks, just because it's school holidays. And then I always know I like to have that first week of school back just to get back on top of life. Not necessarily filming, but I want it planned out so that I know I can have a filming day tomorrow or next week. I'd like to send out a weekly email today, which will be fairly straightforward. I think I'm going to talk about the new makeup I bought this week, the podcast episode, and then Ella's done a blog post for me as well. So all of that can be referenced in this week's email. It's probably a bit much for one email, but at least it will get it started and get it out. And then if I have any more time left, which I'm working after, when I bring the boys home, I come straight back upstairs and keep working. I'd even like to do another 20-minute podcast episode, because then that means I will have 3 in the bank. That's probably enough. I did have one, but yeah.
What was your other one? Tell us.
Last one is I want to plan out my masterclasses for the next 6 months. I'd like an idea of what they are. And as much as I'd like to have guest speakers, because Jenny, I have to say, was amazing as a guest speaker. She was awesome. I've gone through it. I don't know who else. I think sewing was so relatable to what I kind of do. And I know that Lisa's done one before for me on dyeing. I just don't know who else I would necessarily get in within my world. So yeah, whereas I've got an idea of some masterclasses, like I think in July, I'm going to change tact a little bit and do all about the different jean styles so that people can actually understand for their body shape what jean styles they should be looking at. And then I would just like, even if I can get to October-ish, because then November becomes like more Christmassy, that kind of thing. Just so I've got an idea of what I'm doing. I like a plan, as you know. So like having that and then having it where I can see in my office, I think would make me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm on top of stuff. So yeah, I've got quite a list.
Yes. But yes, top priority website, because that's connected to the podcast episode. I think that sounds great.
Yep.
Socials, because that is going to free you up, having that plan ready to go.
Yep.
But if you do want to then like move through those next tasks, just don't get stuck in the detail of that socials plan. Just keep it high level so that you've got a map to follow.
Yeah, I do it on pen and paper, and I literally just have the month calendar, and it's top level line ideas. I don't really do stories. I kind of just do stories on the fly, unless it's a reminder for me, share your lead magnet, put an offer in, those kinds of things. I need to remind myself to do that. But otherwise, yeah, it's very sort of top level.
Right. Yeah. With that email, you mentioned the 3 things that are going to be in there. I think that's fine to include it. But what you could do is you could pull out the blog into its own separate weekly email next week. Like if you don't have something ready to go, you can go a bit deeper. Or did you see this blog, that I mentioned last week? And then just round it out a little bit.
I'll do that, because then that gives me next week's already, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Jenny.
Thank you.
Well, it was going to be to get my Serger website or, sales page done, but that's pretty good. I did that. So I sent out an email this morning to the 4 ladies that just most recently took my Serger class at Prairie Point, and I got 1 testimonial back already. So need to just get those switched out. That's the only thing on there left to be done. So then I need to set up the workflow so that, when people purchase or sign up, and it's all set up. So that, but that, I guess that's not my first priority, because that doesn't need to be set up until I launch. I guess what I need to do is start planning out my launch, which I think I'm just going to do a pre-recorded video of threading your serger, maybe even use some of the video from the course, and do it that way. So I just need to get that. I know what weeks, I have the weeks blocked out that I want to do wait list and then masterclass and then launch, but I need to get that whittled down into more detail. I want to do it the first week or two of July is what I think I have. My calendar's back there somewhere. Penciled in anyway on my calendar. So that's what I'm working on for now. I did have a question, though, a favor to ask all of you. So Ames got on my website this morning when I posted about that, and she was sending me screenshots, and hers is showing up in a different font than what I did. So I got on a chat with the support. They didn't have any answers. So we also have an equipped, Jennifer Allwood has support people you can email as well. So I sent them an email, and she said, yeah, I just pulled it up on a couple different browsers and it looks correct. So I don't know, Ames, if it's your browser, if it's Japan. So I thought maybe if a few of you wouldn't mind, just pull up the homepage and maybe take a screenshot and send it to me so I can see what fonts you're seeing when you pull up my website. And I'll keep doing some digging. It's not awful, but what Ames was seeing was much harder to read than what I had.
That's why every single comment is like, this is hard to read.
I know. I did make a few changes from the white fonts and things like that, but I was looking at some of yours and I'm like, that is hard to read. But when I pull it up, it looks absolutely fine. So I don't know what's going on.
I had a look last night before I went to bed, and I agree with what Ames said.
You're getting that same font?
Yeah, and it was really hard to read on the front page. There's a sewing machine in the background, and it's white, and so the font on it was a bit harder to read. So that was one, and I agree with all the other stuff that Ames had put in as well. I'm finding it hard. And it was all different size fonts, and I'm thinking, this is odd.
Yeah, maybe if you can grab a screenshot as well, if we can share.
If you wouldn't mind, then I can send it off.
I've just done a screenshot for you on mine, and I've put it under your post.
All right. I don't know what's going on. So that I may have to do some more digging into that, because I like this website much better, but
the messaging on it is good. It's good. So if you, it's worth spending some time on that, because that will affect the experience. Completely. Of all the people that you're going to be directing there, and then you want them to take that next step through. So I would definitely spend time on that, but also the launch plan, especially if you're thinking about early July. You'd definitely have a look at the launch assets list that we've looked at before in terms of what you'll want to create, and assign some timelines. And share that as well. And
then I was like 3 weeks ahead on having all of my posts scheduled, and now I'm caught up to that, and I'm almost going day to day, so I need to get ahead on that too.
How far ahead?
Ones. I'd like to be at a minimum of a week ahead.
Great. All right, lots to work on. So I'll be back on 12 o'clock my time, which is 1 p.m. Australia time. You may be asleep by then, Jenny, but but feel free to pop into the group, Jenny, with any help you need. And everyone else, if you need to, I'll be here. If you don't, feel free just to keep on working through, but share an update with all that you achieved at the end of the day.
Can I ask one really quick question?
Yeah, of course.
It's really quick, I promise. For the button on my website, I'm changing it, which Ames, I think you know, I'm changing it from book a color analysis, because it's now becoming more of a package of analysis plus 3 months in the membership. Do you prefer, all of you, what resonates better? If you saw something that said buy the Color Confidence package or Complete Color Confidence. I know that sounds, it's like 3 C's. I'm trying to make it sound like it's still a color package, but I didn't want it to sound so wishy-washy that people didn't understand what it was, because I've taken color analysis out.
This is
Or
on
is it-
the button, it's the text on the button itself.
Yeah.
So you
And
don't want it
it's
super
right the
long.
way, it's right the way throughout. So here, I'll see if I've got a photo on my phone that I can show you. Because I just wasn't 100% sure.
Complete color analysis flowed better to my ears just now as you were saying it.
Yeah, so it would look like that on my website.
Okay.
Because that's sort of what, it's more than just a color analysis now. So that's why changing it from, it used to be book a color analysis, and then that's why I changed it to like a color confidence or the color package, or
The color confidence package.
So that's what I came
there.
last
Okay.
night. Yeah, the color, like buy the color confidence package or book the color confidence package, maybe, because then
I
at
like
least, you know.
book. I don't like buy for some reason. That just
maybe that's what was throwing it.
Yeah.
Because I always used to have book a color analysis.
book or purchase just sound a little.
Yeah, I might do book, because I think purchase then will become really.
And book sounds like you're just scheduling it. It doesn't sound like there's money involved. I mean, but that's a good thing. Like they might be more apt to click because they wouldn't feel like, oh, I don't have the money right now or something. I don't know.
Okay. But you like it as a color confidence?
I do like that. Yeah.
Like that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it builds your confidence to choose your colors.
Yes. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, I will stick with that. I just suddenly, sorry to interrupt at the very end. I was like, that's the first thing I'm working on. So I was like, I want to make sure that's the right thing.
Well, I'm going to throw a spanner in the works, because I think with it that long, it doesn't really look like a button on mobile. It kind of just looks like a header.
I can't change it. On Kajabi, there is nothing I can do to change that layout.
Yeah, so I was wondering if you take that sentence out and like put it in bold in that same color, like that deep pink, like book color confidence package above as like almost a hook, or a subtitle, like a bolded.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And then on the button, it's just like, I want this or something. Just just see what that looks like.
Okay,
I need this almost to me sounds more urgent.
I need this. Yeah.
Okay. And if I've got multiple buttons going through the page, I just keep that same phrase. I need this until it gets to the actual package.
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you. And I'll try again with the button, but yeah, Kajabi, as you know, it can be a bit, it's not totally user-friendly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a play. If you can't fix it and that one feels better, go with that and test it out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll test them both out and then I'll put it in the group and see what everyone thinks.
Great. All right.
Awesome.
So I look forward to hearing all the progress.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.